climate change, I think, is probably the Earth's way of telling us that we've really done some very serious things. I mean, I understand from the basic geology that I know that Florida has been underwater at least 8 times that we know about by looking at the stones. So we know that the seas have risen and fallen as a natural progression. But, we're a block and a half away from the water here, and if Al Gore's, anywhere right, I'm going to have waterfront property pretty soon. Alternative fuels, alternative energies, passive mechanisms so that you can decrease demand for energy or change the energy paradigm has been something that in my career and education we've always looked for. Now, if you look at the paradigm that the Australians are putting forward, actually have just put forward, they're mandating the complete obsolescence of incandescent light bulbs by the year 2010 and converting the entire country over to compact fluorescence or regular fluorescent lighting. They're talking about taking 1 million cars off the road, by that simple act of converting light bulbs. So that's the equivalent. If you don't build a product, a house, an office building, that is very, very energy efficient, today, you have built something that is totally obsolete. And so you're at a complete market disadvantage. I think one of the greatest movements that I've seen that gives me terrific hope in the last 5 to 10 years is really former President Clinton. He was talking about the paradigm change in energy. And he was saying that, you can't export locally produced energy. Energy is, particularly electricity, is not an exportable commodity. It's got to be used right there. So if you can develop local economies that are based with high-tech jobs providing, clean, affordable, and abundant energy, whether it be by wind, by solar, by wave action, by, passive sources, and then if you can also have jobs that are in the development to meet all of our housing needs, our infrastructure needs that are very energy efficient, those are not exportable either. And so you can really begin to build our society and create high-paying jobs that hopefully can help, alleviate some of the disparities that we have, not only in our economy, but, in society. The average home in Florida today, over the year, spends $600 a month for 3,000 square feet of air-conditioned space. With homes that are built with these kinds of building materials, eco-block, green block, and isolene material in the attic spaces, what we end up with are electric bills today that are below $200 a month. Now that's a $400 a month savings. That's $5,000 a year that you're able to put into your pocket, and the cost differential probably is paid back within a year, year and a half. The private sector is drawing this particular governmental administration into the future. They're demanding it, because if I don't build it now and I put up something else, I'm going to be obsolete. I can't compete. But we can't afford all of the costs that are coming down, which are exacerbating not only the global crisis in energy and the global crisis that is very definitely looming about warming and climate change. It was 29 in Honolulu yesterday, and it's April what? I don't think anybody knows that it ever got that cold. It's the beginning of April, and my brother is going through snow flurries in South Carolina as of an hour and a half ago. And I think that the role of government and the political sphere in going green, if we will, is not necessarily to take the lead that the Europeans have taken, which is very aggressive. We're going to run nuclear power and all this kind of thing. But to say, look, these are the standards of which we expect our society to live by. These are the policies of the government, and we will attempt to reward good behavior and will attempt to punish bad behavior, because we need, as a society, to move this way. Let's look at how we can not only save energy for you, but let's look at ways where you can make more money and become more profitable by saving energy. Let's look at new alternatives of these things. Let's all pitch in and pay for putting the telephone lines underground so we're not chopping up the very few trees that we have. Solving some of the global energy problems that other nations are going to have, even if we jumped on board and it became our national policy, can very much be influenced. And I think it could lead to a very positive means. If the United States and the Europeans, the two biggest markets in the whole world, came together and said, these are the standards of which we believe in, and we're not going to buy anything from anybody unless they follow our practices. We can't have the Walmart approach to everything where it's constantly a low price and it's constantly, we're going to cut that price continually. That's a very good model for consumption, but it's not a good model for conservation. In other words, I'll actually get to breathe. I'll actually have some clean water that I don't have to pay a gajillion dollars for because I'm cleaning all the toxic waste out of it. And you know what? Maybe when I go swimming in the ocean, there's a fish left. I mean, what an idea. And the ability to improve our lives and maintain our lives in the future by having a planet that we can live on, I think is absolutely not only the right thing to do, it's what we must do. And leadership at all levels is required to get us there.